Well, a gaming community is a small group or large group of people who come together to form something bigger than themselves, a place where they can call home and be among others who share the same love, excitement, and passion for gaming, whether that be online games or even single-player games. What's TeamSpeak? I talked about TeamSpeak a second ago. Does anybody know what TeamSpeak is? Awesome. You know what TeamSpeak is? Good. That's more people than usual that know what TeamSpeak is. So that's good. TeamSpeak is a VoIP server, or voice over IP server. When you create this server, you make channels so you can talk to each other. So kind of think of it like this. TeamSpeak is like a house, and each time you make a new channel, that adds a new room to your house that people can go into and talk. Now, there are many options for VoIP, but it is almost required for any gaming community to actually work. And no, Skype is definitely not going to work. You need a standalone server that is always running 24/7, and Skype is a virus, so don't use it for your community. Skype is great for if you're talking just among a couple of friends, but when you actually start forming a community, you need something that's organized and has administration privileges.
Especially with sound quality too.
And sound quality is a lot better, and you have a lot more options. So we're going to get to the intermediate part of the panel. We're going to split this into 4 sections where each of us are going to talk about the 4 pillars for creating, maintaining, and growing a community. Those are going to be administration, marketing, graphic design, and of course recruitment. So I'm going to do the first pillar, and then we'll go forward from there. Pillar 1 is administration. All right, so this pillar is going to be a bit more broad than some of the others, at least in my opinion, maybe because it's mine, I don't know. Because we are going to reiterate some stuff. The first thing you need to do when creating any type of community is have a decent amount of individuals ready to invest time in the community, or spend time using your community's products and services. For example, when we first started, we had well over 10 people that would come online and use our TeamSpeak server, play games with us, etc. on a daily basis. So I chose a couple of them to be, my starting administrators, some of them being up here, and start the process of the community. So administration can be quite complex. No one person can do it alone. And the larger the community grows, the more admins and jobs you will need to fill. We didn't start off with a marketing director or a graphic designer or our social media lead. We simply started off as me as the owner and James as the admin/co-owner. We assigned a couple of other ranks in the group and then started catering to the needs of those within the community. And that can mean doing some of the following things. So you start up your community, you start recruiting people, blah, blah, blah. You're going to want to cater to people's needs and what is going to get them to be like, oh, here's my incentive to get online. First one is creating special channels. So if you have a bunch of people that play Counter-Strike, you may want to create 4 Counter-Strike lobbies, 1 through 4. General discussion lobbies, politics channels, etc. But you want to keep it short. Politics channels is honestly really important because whenever people start talking politics, they get really heated. It's much better to separate that so that way it's not done in the main channel. Joining those people who are playing games, inviting them to games you play, and reminding them that you guys would love for them to bring old friends or new ones they make to the server. You're going to have to de-escalate situations without having to punish either party, meaning not banning one or the other, removing them from the server, or anything like that. And I'll talk more about de-escalating in a second as well. Have some third-party people come in and critique your work. When you have done such as organizing the channels, icons, the name, etc. So having a friend or somebody who can come in as a third party and say, hey, I like this, or I don't like this, or this works, or that doesn't work. And you're going to have to make something different. I can't tell you what that is. Every single group out there, or community, is going to have something different to make them special. And you're going to have to figure out with your administration team or your members of your group of what that is. So a second ago, I talked about de-escalating situations without having to punish anybody. This is something that can be very helpful, but I personally have not noticed this in most communities because it's just not present. Not everyone has the charismatic or management type of skills or experience, or they just are lazy and prefer not to have to deal with a bunch of drama online or within the group. But you really need to try. So let's go over some ways to de-escalate situations as they will help maintain your community's numbers, happiness, and future growth. When coming into an unknown situation, and And let's face it, when you're going into a heated argument or trouble between people, you will have no idea what's going on, and they're going to expect you to know everything and be on their side. You're going to need to keep a very calm head, calm tone, and a calm voice of level. Unlike real life, this is a lot more tricky because they cannot read your body language, feel intimidated by your looks or mannerisms, and overall, you're just another person on the internet. So keep in mind you have to go in with a stern tone, a decent level, all while staying calm. Don't let them walk on you, but don't call them both dumb idiot situation. I try to agree with both parties and even explain that I am here to help resolve the issue, not ban any one person. If parties cannot be in a room together due to the anger level, explain to them that you would like to speak to them privately, which you may do in the first place anyway, depending on how you want to approach the situation. Sometimes, if they're in a super heated argument, I mean, you know, you may have to separate them and hear each side of the story separately. I prefer to keep them both in the channel and doing it that way, or together, because it's more effective, but it's also a lot more disastrous if you cannot maintain, you know, a level of maturity between the two. Let me give you a quick scenario. Bob and Lisa are arguing. They were playing a game and Bob was losing really badly. So when Lisa would laugh or make a joke, Bob would take it badly because he was irritated. It got out of hand from here. You arrive and see that they are in the heat of the moment. What do? First off, explain that you would like to help them and ask if you could talk to them for a second. Get both sides of the story and explain that while one is telling the story, the other one has to listen, and you will have a chance to tell your side in a moment. If you must mute one person from talking temporarily, do so. That's going to keep the peace. At that point, you should find out, after hearing both stories, that Bob obviously had a misunderstanding. I would simply explain that Lisa, that she has most likely been in the situation of Bob before, where she feels irritated and will take things out of context because she's losing. Of course, that's not an excuse for Bob, but that's no reason they can't be friends and have to fight over something stupid. Then explain to Bob that he should remember it is a game, and though you totally understand how he feels, it's silly to get upset even though you want to. Finally, ask them if they would like to apologize and keep playing. Maybe Lisa will tone down the jokes and laughing, and Bob will try not to be so sensitive towards some of the jokes. Literally compromise. Usually in any situation, both parties are right to an extent, and both parties will take their story and exaggerate it to a degree. So there's usually truth behind either side, and you can't really necessarily take sides unless it's something pretty serious. Weekly meetings are very important. You need to set a time, date, and agenda to talk about. You can invite your members in to attend this as like a town hall meeting, or you could just do it with your administrators. Weekly meetings do not have to be long, crazy, and boring. So don't think you have to have this huge, gigantic list to talk about. It really could be a couple of points that you want to talk about and kind of expand on. And a lot of times people in the community have a lot of good ideas for you. Have a set of rules, but don't overdo it. So you need to figure out what your values for your group are. There's all types of different values. For example, our group is full of pretty insensitive trolls. We all love each other, but we really are hardly offended by much of anything, and we make fun of each other a lot. So our rules are going to be different than some other people's. Our rules are simple. If you run a public channel that anyone can access, you simply need to respect others' limitations and not be too crazy offensive with racist comments or sexist comments, etc. Because there's a point where you're being kind of ignorant to a degree, is if your jokes kind of get out of hand. So don't be an idiot as a rule, and the third one is have fun. So literally 3 rules. It's pretty simple. Now each community is different, but no matter how serious your community is, you need to keep the rules to a minimum. A lot of communities end up having this huge list of rules, and when they try to police those rules, people either take it out of context or they can't keep up with how many rules they have, and it ends up failing and destroying the community. So there's a lot of things we could go over, a lot of things that I'm sure a lot of us would like to expand on, but we have a limited amount of time, so we're going to go to marketing.
Hi everyone, my name's Ari, or as they call me, Cypress. I'm the marketing director for Gaming Titans. Marketing happens really every day. Every day you're outside, every day. I don't know if any of you saw, but we're handing out flyers. That's a form of marketing. Saying hi, like, how are you? I'm alright, pleasure to meet you. That's marketing. Like, you're marketing yourself. When you market a gaming community, you're not just showing like, oh, this is our gaming community. This is really our second home. A lot of times, like, I'm gonna be honest, none of us ever knew each other in real life. We met each other. I met them. Like, he's known James or Elon for how many years now? 8 years.
It was a long time. I hadn't met him until that time.
Exactly. I hadn't met them. I met them 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, and it really is a second home, and we need to show that to people. One way, we expanded so many ways over the past year or so. We went to Twitch, YouTube. The thing that people really need is great content. The first point. It's so important to provide great content, and it doesn't have to be funny, good. It can go from like little tiny sound effects to giant animations flying on the screen, distracting people from whatever it may be. Grab their attention. You want to show them like, oh, this is us. Like when I watch a video on YouTube, I only watch it, and it's someone new. Like I'm the one that sticks to my guns. Like when I go to Subway, I get the same sandwich every time. Like I'm that type of person. When I see a new video that's like funny, I give it about 10 to 15 seconds. If I like it, I'll keep watching. If not, done. It's not smart of me, but it's what I do, and it's what a lot of people do.
People.
Yeah, I also work in the hotel business. That's what they tell us. Like, first 10 seconds is the most crucial seconds in the world. So if you grab their attention, like what we saw at the beginning, our video, that's what we intro into every stream, every video that we produce. It is so important to have something like that, just kind of shoving your presence in people's faces. As bad as that sounds, it's what we need to do sometimes. Using teasers is another huge idea that people have as marketing. It's like, oh, we're going to be doing this. Come on down and join us. It's so, everything is so important to do. Like just how you act, how you perceive yourselves, your egos for some of us. It's just, like I said, it's just so important, providing the best that we can. And some days it's tough. Some days you don't want to. Some days you just want to lay back and chill. Like half the time, 99% of the time, we're not doing anything serious. We're either talking, arguing with each other in a mostly playful manner, and all that stuff. But it's really important to get your message across and what we need to do as a gaming community. For example, one thing that we just started doing, t-shirts. This is our, let me take this off. This is our Gaming Titans eSport jersey that we plan to be using in the future. We got one just to test it out. It does have our names and all that stuff on the back. So it's a cool little thing. Once you get big enough though, this is when you get big enough. Like if you get big enough. Like sometimes it's just a personal thing, but if you want to expand like we have been doing in the past year or so, you have so much opportunity to that. T-shirts, videos, video games, conventions, like we are here right now. It's such a huge opportunity that you all can do, and it's vital to a gaming community to express yourselves. Going back to delivering great content, videos, like showing people what you are about. Like when I joined these guys, it was part of a Star Wars group on a game called Second Life. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of it. It was the most ridiculous game ever. We would be fun. A little better. Yeah, but that's loud. Oh, I like it though. Ambiance. But yeah, like I said, it's just so important to get your content out. Just from little things, like how you're acting, how you're going about doing things. It's really about having fun also. That's really how you market yourself, is having fun. Showing what you need to do, showing what you do, and just having a good time.
Oh, it's me already. Hi! Okay, so let's start. Before we start on my presentation, I want to hear what games you guys play. What games get you interested? What games want you to stand up and be like, I'm going to buy that game when it comes out?
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
Hey!
Yeah.
Cheers.
The greatest game.
What game? Final Fantasy, yeah?
See the new one?
14 at the moment.
Okay.
Doom.
Doom.
You played the new Doom? You like it?
Oh, yes.
I've heard mixed things about it.
It's amazing.
Yeah?
Just the
I forget
multiplayer sucks. Minecraft.
I love Minecraft. I love
Hey, it's always gonna be there.
Don't you bash Minecraft? That's my favorite. League?
League? You say League?
League
Oh,
of Legends.
awesome.
Candyland.
And
Like
Candyland.
I like Candyland.
Alright, you got one thing right. League.
Does Monopoly count?
I already have all.
Alrighty, well my name is Gabriel. Others know me as Masari Nagushi TV, and I am the graphic designer for Gaming Titans. Today I'm going to talk about how you can make your gaming community thrive through a website or simple artwork. Now we all want to be artists out there, but it really drills down to every day just constantly hurting yourself, trying to draw that stick figure, trying to draw that little cloud, or that smiley face that we just can't get the left eye correctly. My first point is being always available. As a graphic designer, 2D to 3D designer, you always have to be available. There will be people across the world contacting you, if you're that lucky, you know. That's why we have marketing. But if you're that lucky, you get contacted, and you have to do it on their time. It's always their time. They're going to be asking crazy amounts of questions, and you have to have a very flexible set of skills by doing art. By designing a website, your website is open 24/7 to your customers and thousands of gamers worldwide. Everyone is on a tight schedule these days. They may really appreciate the convenience of finding what they need without having to stop and call or research it. Your brand, your community design. A well-designed website will add credibility to your business and strengthen your brand.
I can't spell.
What did you do?
Panel's over, I'm sorry.
I got really nervous when you pulled
Just
this
ended
around.
so quickly. I didn't even have time. This is a website that took several days to design. Several. Now, 7, probably. I mean, there was several nights. I
If you
had
count the
sleep.
spelling errors, about a month.
Yeah. When you're working at 5 in the morning, no sleep, you know, it happens. When you start off, you want to have it as simple as possible, but you want to bring people in. Now, music and picture-wise, it's great, but you don't want something that blinds the viewer and hurts their ears. There's been several times where I've had to lower the music volume on this website. I can't even count. Make your design pop, but don't make it complicated where it starts to hurt eyes, ears, meaning you don't want a lot of pop-ups, flashes. Now we know ads are there and they're always going to be there unless you pay for them not to be there.
My computer just has viruses.
What did you do? Increase, increase, increase. There is no other way that provides geographic research other than a website. The internet is constantly growing, and it's for you. It's there. You can do whatever you want to. Through a website, through videos. It's endless possibilities. A happy wife is a happy life. Being as flexible as possible is key, not only with your schedule, but with your artistic style as well. Being stuck with only one style of art, it's okay, but it's not always what people are looking for. Sometimes people will want complicated logos, or website design, or a t-shirt design. Can't even get started on that one. You down there, your little world? Yes, you. Simple is best.
Oh, ignore my girlfriend right now. She's texting.
Simple is best, isn't it? To some extent, yes, but also it can depend on the buyer's wants and needs. You may love putting in detail and making awesome effects because it's boring and it just isn't your style if it's not. But sometimes the buyer just wants a simple star or a word font. But then again, this can also work backwards. You need to be flexible. You may create 5 to 10 logo designs for the customer, but they will not, they will or may not like those at all. They may want more shadow, more, as most buyers, they will literally use this word, and there's a word that you should all know, bam. I want more bam. Give me something more bam. Give me something flashy. It's an endless cycle of just constant terror if you're an artist. It's not a lie. Like, their logos took forever. I went through so many, it's not even funny.
Honestly, the amount of graphics.
Then again, they're picky and their egos are. But
I wanted a little blue. That's all I wanted.
But as an artist, you will have tough times, easy times. Last week, I sold a logo that was literally just a star for 200. Just a star. It could be very simple, but also you have to get really complicated at the same time. So, my name is Gabriel, and I hope you enjoy the graphic parts of this panel.
Ew.
Hi, so I'm James, or Hilo. My section is recruiting. It's a really big thing, but it's also super easy to do. Most of the time it happens by accident, like you don't even realize you're doing it. You just go about any game and you just offer, especially team games. Going into League of Legends, almost every time we go into a game, if we're not in a 5-minute party, hey, do you have TeamSpeak? Well, go ahead and get it. This is how you get it. Join us, because it helps communication. Your team, it gives that instant, like, hey, this is here. I'm really bad. I'm spoiled. I can't play without it now because I don't pay attention to anything. But it helps, that instant communication.
And on that note, that's a free service that we can provide to people. So when people are like, oh, you have TeamSpeak, well, then they start using our services.
Yeah, they'll start bringing in their friends, bringing in because, well, they want to play with their friends. They want to communicate
They
fast
don't
as
even
well.
have to be a part of Gaming Titans to do it. They just hop on. Like we have people right now, probably on there right now that we don't even know who they are. Like I come on the TeamSpeak one day, I'm just like, who the heck are these people?
I love that because
It's the best feeling in the world.
it's like, hey, I want to play this game, and you'll see somebody in the lobby, and it's like, great, I can jump right in with the party. And just don't be a jerk about it, though. Like, because you can be, and nobody wants to play with a jerk. That's also the same thing in the games. Don't be a jerk, or people aren't going to want to come play with you. It sounds elementary, but
If I could say, league is league.
yeah.
We all
It's
know
the
that.
saltiest community in the world.
Every league game, you lose 5 people because if you are an asshole to the
Like,
team,
I just
yeah.
want to say, Alex right here is the worst person I've ever met when it comes to league.
He
He will,
tried to exile me.
like, when I first joined Gaming Titans, I was, excuse my language, but I was their bitch. I would get banned every other day because he's doing stupid stuff. And especially when it comes to league, like, I'm not good at league. I use this computer to play league. I know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Shed a tear.
Thank you.
Shed a tear.
I don't even use a mouse, okay? Like, and then when he tries hard, it's embarrassing because he's like, Cypress, what the hell are you doing? But it's at the same time, we're still, to some extent, having fun.
Usually.
We'll see. But like Alex said, every recruit is potential for more. Their friends, any people they come across playing, yeah, they're gonna share the server because they get used to it. They get used to having that system, that ability to communicate instantly. And you want to get your new people involved. Any new member that comes onto your server, they're new. They don't know anybody. They're in a room with a bunch of strangers, and like me especially, it's happened to me. Gabriel used to go on a different server, and they played Warframe, and I went onto that server, and I was like, well, I know nobody. I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut, I'm gonna run around by myself. Until he started like introducing me to people, we started partying up and stuff, and that's when I really got to know everybody, and you know, it became just that. It was another community that I was a part of, and that's all it takes is just getting them involved. So like I said, recruiting is really easy. You just ask. They may say no. They may say no. They don't want to join the server.
You'll get a lot of no's.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen. Most people don't want to take the time or whatever. But the point is, if you survey 100 people, if you get 5, that's good enough. That's 5 more people.
That's 5 more people that they can bring in, and so on. And it's, I don't know. The only other thing is keep an eye on them, because you don't want to bring in people that, at face value, are really cool. They're good to play with and stuff, and then all of a sudden they're being a jerk. They're making your members leave, which is where the administration comes in. You want to keep an eye on them.
And all this stuff we have dealt with multiple times before. It's so tough. Like it really, like it does put a strain on the group, and you have to really be there for each other. Like like Alex said before, you don't want to take sides, but sometimes you really got to stay like one. Like I said, it's more of a family than anything else that we have here. And as people come in, as they stay longer, after like let's say a month, like I'll consider you so like a friend of mine, like a personal friend of mine, like just because we have so much fun together, and it's just so great to be one with each other and just play games and all that stuff. And like James said, recruiting is probably the most important part.
It's the biggest part.
Without recruiting, we don't have Gabe, we don't have Alex, we don't have James, we don't have anyone sitting in the audience over there, and it just, like Siege.
Our audience.
I mean, you know, again, all of it's important. You know, I mean, you recruit. Okay, well, if you don't have administration, then you can't maintain, you can't grow, you can't do this and that. If you don't have marketing, how are you supposed to get your product out there? If you don't have graphic design, how are you supposed to get them in the first place? Everything literally is just as important as the other, and it has to work like clockwork. And you have to have a team that works together well. So overall, just remember that having fun and working as a team is going to be what makes your community successful. You're going to have fights, and not just in community, but as an admin team. We've had plenty of fights, plenty of times, and it sucks, but you're going to have it. Just remember that you can always move past it, and don't let one thing ruin the community or your friendship. It happens every day, and you can prevent that just by saying, all right, you win, and swallowing your pride. I have a hard time doing that, but sometimes that is absolutely necessary.
It's very true. It's very important. I don't think you emphasize how hard
I've done it before, I promise.
Alex, he's in the hospital. I've known him. I just want to say I've known him for 5 years. I think he's admitted that I'm right once out of that whole time.
At least I did it once.
You got one.
On that note, though, choose wisely who you want as your administration team, or who you create your community with. I mean, honestly, if you don't choose wisely, or you choose kind of not the best type of people, or people you mesh well with, it's going to be a disaster. If you have a bad feeling about someone, keep them away from being an admin, or the whole group as a whole if you have to. The online community is huge, so there's no need to be fishing desperately for members. You won't need to as long as you have followed some of these steps. Remember that you need to create something different or with incentives. So maybe having tournaments with prizes, a special way you run the group, an awesome slogan, or maybe all of the above. You won't start off from the top, and you will have a long way to go to make it to the top. And people either choose to or choose not to, or they just don't make it there. Gaming Titans is a very successful community, but we are by no means a community with thousands of active members a day, and that's how we like it. Having the biggest and best community is not really something you should be striving for. In fact, having fun and putting your current members first is always the best way to run things. You should be making the community for the people and let them help run it. I am by no means saying don't make it to the top or don't have that goal, but that cannot be your main mission statement. Think about it. Putting this as your slogan. All we care about is becoming the biggest community there is, and we don't really care how we do it. That doesn't sound very good, does it? And though you obviously are not going to put that as your slogan, you might as well, because people will notice that's what you're trying to do. People are not that stupid. Do not lose your momentum. So many times when you first start, you say, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to have a great time, we have all these great plans, and then a month passes and everyone falls off and away. Choosing good members to start with and not rushing things is too fast will help grow the community. If you're persistent, one day you will notice a surge in the community as far as growth goes. And anything you do, when you do it long enough, a door of opportunity will open for you, and there will be a world of options and growth. Just know that there's always a catch, and you need to have a keen eye for it, because stuff may get crazy, or serious situations will arise. It seems that's always how it goes. So no matter what, if you're persistent enough, we started in 2012, and we didn't actually start making money off of it, or actually have an increase of members and stuff until way further down the line. Only what? Not even
A month ago.
that was about what, a year ago maybe.
Yeah,
I mean,
about
when
a
it
year.
finally started taking off. It takes
It's
time.
not a switch though. That's the thing.
And that's the thing too, originally we weren't necessarily all out going for it. One day we decided to do so. But this is, something you could turn into, a business. I mean, it is. You've got to run it like a business.
Yeah, you see PewDiePie making $22 million
Yeah,
a year.
on
It's like,
YouTube.
that's a great example.
And it can happen. So keep up that determination and never give up. So at this point, if you guys have any questions, we only have a couple minutes left, but if you guys have questions, you can ask. This could be a question that you want to know that we didn't go over, a general question about one of us, or really whatever it is you want to know that pertains to the panel, one of us, or anything that isn't really.
There's a Bulbasaur.
Same.
I think he's
Yeah, there's a Bulbasaur.
Well, there's a Bulbasaur and one
There's a
Bulbasaur.
There's a Bulbasaur.
Okay.
We have one hand raised. Y'all, we still have. Oh no,
He's catching a Bulbasaur.
He's actually
You have a question?
Yes.
Use a candy.
So you said each group thing
what's Gaming Titans like thing that's different
You
from
mean what
everyone
makes
else?
us different?
Yeah.
Honestly, it is 100% it is the people. I've never ran into such a great group of people since I joined Gaming Titans started. It literally, I met these guys online, right? I didn't know any of them in real life, but they're some of my closest friends that I've ever had, and I care for them deeply, and I know that works the same way, vice versa.
I mean, when you convinced me to move across the country,
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Guys.
You know, so we have a great group of people, and we really care about what we do. We have a really big passion for gaming and for our community. So that's probably our thing.
Question?
the redhead.
Can I exterminatus now, Talon?
Yes. You could exterminate us. That would probably be really bad.
I'm sure that's expensive over there.
Any other questions, comments?
I have another question. What team were y'all on Pokemon Go?
Oh, Valor.
The only team.
Who's better?
Yo, Misty, get back here, bro!
Missed it.
Has anyone else seen the guys running around the entire facility just shouting Team Valor? It's the
Yeah.
Ugly.
About like 7
Gross.
Anytime I
Gross.
stand up, I had a Sith cosplay on, I get my lightsaber, I start chanting and all that stuff. Made a fool of myself.
For the record, I'm not that Valor. I'm not.
I mean, I'll start chanting.
What made you want to choose Team Valor?
Well,
Why?
red.
Yeah, that was
You know? Yeah, it's the color.
I like
Because I almost chose that stance.
Who was the Pokemon League champion in Kanto?
Team Valor.
Red. Who just played Team Rocket? Red.
Can we play that intro?
This made me want to choose Team Valor.
Play the Gaming Titans intro for the people that didn't
Oh yeah,
see it.
let me show you. I'm having trouble.
It was on YouTube.
Because
That's all just about fire.
He has a rubber
By the way,
chicken
one more
fetish.
thing for artists out there. You need to be prepared to not have money coming in at all for the longest period of time.
Oops.
It is
like
the
the
hardest.
first thing.
I have done so
Yeah,
much
that's-
free work, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
Especially for us.
Especially for these guys. Like, on every game that we join, there's always a guild, and you can make an image or a logo, and they just knock on my door, they're, hey, make this. Okay, you gotta pay. No. You're in our community, that's enough. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's
a
really.
board of directors.
I'm a board, yeah, so I mean,
Yeah,
do I really need it?
I'm
No.
the money I've dumped into this.
Same. Yeah.
Oh my
I
god.
mean, it's a group effort.
Like,
It takes a community.
It's
I mean, like there's certain things, like, oh my god, I'm trying to, the website's running.
Because you have an Apple computer.
Uh,
It's the Apple's fault.
We're about to have a technical lead because apparently.
We need to get a tech guy.
Yeah.
You need a
Who wants to be a tech guy?
How's the?
Two recruits right there!
Who is a PC?
I do.
Alright, so this
I've
is,
already.
this is like compared to the one before, this is something you made just
This
for
is what
APAS.
happens when graphic design and marketing.
Hey, it's got 15 views.
That's on Facebook, yeah.
Yeah.
On YouTube, it's like that.
Yeah.
Someone needs to dance. We have 5 minutes, guys. Is there anything you want to say, ask?
Well, real quick, I encourage everybody to like us on Facebook because that would definitely be a help. And you could keep in touch and join the TeamSpeak if you so chose, and kind of get some more information at a later date.
If you'd like to go to our website, you can check out our Twitch stream from there. You can watch the live videos. It took forever to script, but it happened. Just go to gaming-titans.com and heading into this lovely website.
Also, you have 15 minutes to catch this horse in it. That's what my job
But
is.
yeah, this is our regular intro. Like I said in the beginning, we put this at between every video, every stream, all that stuff. So it's just a little way to kind of open it up, get people pumped. Like when we first made this, I was like, I'm digging it. Like I love it. Like I couldn't stop watching it. And that's like people when they first see it for the first time, like the reaction of that, like, ooh, dang. I swear I don't look this stuff up. It just pops.
It also keeps it looking organized, though. It doesn't have to necessarily be, because it's not the most organized, but having that solid opening just makes it seem like you have your
Right,
stuff
you
together.
talked about the first 10 seconds. That's pretty good for the first 10 seconds. That's going to grab your attention. I mean, any type of intro video or artwork or something is going to be like, oh, that's really cool. Most people don't do that. Most people don't put the time and effort into what it takes to be successful. So that's literally what being different is actually finding the passion for it and doing it.
We're about to finish up here. I just have one solid question after the crowd. Would anyone like to join Gaming Titans?
There we
Yeah.
go.
You're already in it.
Can I join again?
Hop on up here, buddy.
Alright, we will talk to you guys once we
If
exit
you guys
here.
have any questions about TeamSpeak, please let us know.
Yeah, I'll probably get on tonight.
Oh yeah.
Gaming tonight, yeah?
Yeah.
Anybody have
I mean, what else do we have?
I was actually
Alright.
planning on
Thank you all for coming.
Thanks, guys.
Y'all have an awesome day. Guys, 2016.
This is one of my favorite games.
Oh God, we are the we are not the Daisy.
Each one is cute.
That's good to see our bad side.
Yeah, I haven't played since the beta.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You should check us out on Twitch.
I mean,